Hi everyone, it's Dia with Eat, Run, Plan, Repeat. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, thank you for stopping by. So recently I've been watching Made with Lovecrafter, and she had a video about books and reading, and it just reminded me that I used to really truly love reading, and I want to get back into it again. So I ran out, picked up a book, and then remembered that I used to keep a little journal with the books I've read. I went digging through my storage bin of old inserts that I've kind of retired, and I found it, and it's only halfway used, so I thought I would go ahead and start filling it out again. So I do keep a list of the books I want to read and the books that I have read in my file of facts, but this was just a fun way to kind of document some of my favorite books and maybe make a few notes about any of them, if I highly recommend them, if there was anything that I love about them, or why I loved them. So today I figured I would share with you how I've put this insert together. I decided to store this insert in my Camel Traveler's Notebook along with my daily journal. And I believe this is a Foxy Fix dot grid insert that I received years ago with one of my Foxy Fixes. I don't really like to use dot grid, but it actually turned out perfect for this. So before I even get started, I go on the internet and I Google pictures of the books I'm reading, and then I screenshot them and add them to my camera roll. Once the images are saved, I open up a free app called PicStitch that I've been using for years. For this project, I select the 4-picture template and then go to size ratio 4:6. Next, you just click one of the image holders and it takes you to your camera roll where you can choose the pictures that you want to use. Once those selections are made, you just drag and drop each picture into the space you want it. Then I try to adjust the picture so that it just shows the book cover and not the extra stuff that I screenshot. I do try to keep in mind that at this aspect ratio, my printer tends to cut off a little bit of the top and bottom. Once you're done positioning the images, you just hold down the export button and it saves to your camera roll. Next, I open up the Canon Selphy app and select the image I want to be printed. Does anyone else use a Canon Selphy printer? I purchased mine a few years ago and I really like it, but I was looking for something even smaller, so I tried out one of those Canon sticker ones, but I ended up returning it because the quality was just not good. So here they are all printed out, and like I mentioned before, it does cut off a little bit of the top and a little bit of the bottom. If anybody knows how to fix that, I would love it if you let me know down in the comment area. I thought I would film myself entering some of these into my journal, but I'm out of time today, so I figured I'll just give you a quick flip through of some of my past book entries. Just a heads up, if the hands don't seem to match with what I'm saying, it's because when I first recorded this, I was doing it from my camera and not a voiceover, and I realized I had the wrong plug plugged into my camera. So some of these books I read quite a long time ago, but I thought I would include them because they are some of my all-time favorites. It's funny to look back and see that at this time of my life, I was reading a lot of books about running. I wish I would have put the dates down. Then I did a lot of self-help books. Just some random books. Some of these were even free books that I downloaded on my Nook or on my Kindle. Also, I did use a little bit of washi tape to just decorate the pages a little, and I'll probably do that with my new ones as well. 50 Shades of Grey, I had a really hard time getting into. It was really rough getting through the first book, and then at the end it became really interesting, so I started the second book, but if I remember correctly, I never finished it. The Alchemist is one of my absolute all-time favorite series. I read this series with my son, and then my husband got into it with me too, and we've actually read it several times now. Another favorite series of mine, my son's, and my husband's is Percy Jackson. I started reading these once again because my son was reading them, and I really love to read the same books as my kids because I'm able to talk to them and interact with them. They can ask me questions if they don't understand something, and to us, it's just like watching a movie together and then discussing it after. And I actually prefer to read a book over watch a movie. And seriously, who hasn't read the Twilight series? It's such an easy read and so much better than the movies. And these Child of Atlantis books were actually written by a friend of mine named Perry, and they're really good. They go along the same lines of the Percy Jackson books, and I think he wrote another one after this, but I haven't checked it out yet. The last thing I put in here was a series of unfortunate events. I read these to both of my kids as they were growing up, and eventually they read the entire series on their own too. These hold such a strong childhood memory for my son that he went away to college, got rid of almost everything, but he refused to get rid of all of these hardbound books because his cousin gave them to him, and they are such a wonderful childhood memory of both of us reading together. And while I'm reading a book or anticipating reading a book, I like to leave it in this little slot right here. They fit perfectly. And when I'm ready, I'll just pull them out and go ahead and paste them in. And if I have something to say about the book, I'll go ahead and write that in too. I almost forgot to mention that this is probably one of my favorite insert covers of all times. Don't worry, no books were harmed in the process. I just went on the internet and Googled vintage books, and this is one of the pages I found, so I printed it up and pasted it to the front, added a little bit of washi tape to it, and like all my other insert covers, I went ahead and put tape over it, clear packing tape, to protect it. On the back side, I did the same thing, but this time I just kind of tore up the pages. You can tell that they're not really antique because some of it looks tea stained and then the other parts of it are white, so it was just normal printer paper that I printed on. And of course, just like the front cover, I put clear packing tape on the back to protect it too. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of my book insert, and if you liked it, please go ahead and hit the like button down below. If you want to see more from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you want to be notified of whenever I post a video, make sure you hit that notification bell too. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!